But welcome to post-Hurricane Louisville.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know hurricanes came up this far.
I didn't know either. I did not have a hurricane in Louisville on my bingo card for 2024.
No.
So it's been fun, so to speak. But you missed all the craziness yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
I heard they ended up not doing it yesterday.
Yeah, they ended up canceling. It was looking like we might have been able to, but it be what it be at this point. But today we just have some rain, so I'll take that over the high winds.
Absolutely.
But so back in the bourbon capital of the world, I do have to ask the very obvious question: are you a bourbon drinker?
I am not.
No. Are you an Irish whiskey drinker?
Not a drinker.
Not a drinker at all. So I'm glad that you say that, because have you ever tried non-alcoholic bourbon?
No.
See? It's a very interesting thing. Like it was one of those things. So like whenever I talk to people that are not drinkers, it's like usually there's non-alcoholic beer, maybe,
sure, right.
But most people have never heard of non-alcoholic bourbon.
No,
but,
certainly not.
Yeah. So when we wrap up, I'll show it to you just so you can see it if there's any interest at all.
Nice.
But it's a very interesting thing, so to speak. A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's always interesting to be able to kind of talk to people and like share that little bit, because I mean, again, we're the bourbon capital of the world here in Louisville, so of course there's going to be plenty of those non-alcoholic options.
Well, it's nice of them to think about the people that don't drink like that, so that's nice. That's very nice of them.
I feel like it's been a very long time coming to figure that out, but we'll talk about that after. But first off, I want to talk about just being here at Louder Than Life, the festival atmosphere, with kind of the weather how it is, being kind of gloomy, rainy, all of that. I've noticed that crowds tend to be a little more rowdy when that happens.
I agree. I think it's sort of that sense of like, well, I'm already soaked, and so what the fuck, you know what I mean? I absolutely agree. It makes for good shows a lot of the time.
I was gonna say, because I mean, for you guys, I mean, a big part of what you're known for is the very high energy shows, like just bringing that that intensity to the stage and everything. So, do you look forward to kind of this kind of weather versus if it's like just hotter than hell outside?
That's a good question. I mean, hotter than hell while playing at these festivals can be tough sometimes, and it does suck the life out of the crowd.
A little bit, yeah.
So it's I mean, I guess people are more prepared to go crazy in a situation like this, between the rain and the fact that it's not too hot out. So it should be good. It is tough when you get on stage and like the sun is directly on you, and the crowd is just so beaten down by being there all day,
I mean, so I mean, it has to make a huge difference, but like when you think about, being at a festival versus being at, just a typical touring show, what's the mentality that you have when it's like, okay, well, we're going into a festival, like in the back of your mind, is it like, okay, well, we have to do XYZ versus what we're doing at a normal tour show because of a shorter set, or, trying to win over people that may not know you?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some thought that goes into it. We try to just kind of do what we're going to do, but there are definitely, like today we're playing for 40 minutes. I couldn't tell you the last time we played for 40 minutes. Evan, our tour manager, was backstage, because we always compare set lists as far as like what we did the last time we were in town and all that stuff. And normally, to get an idea of how many songs fit into however many minutes, he'll look at some, if we're doing an hour set, he'll find some old ones and stuff. He's sitting there on his computer this morning going, I don't think we've ever played a fucking 40-minute set before. He's like, I don't know how many songs go in a 40-minute set. So there's definitely a little finagling. It depends on what the setting is. If we're at like a metal festival, we might play some of our harder stuff, versus if we're at like an Irish festival, we might play some of the more Celtic influenced stuff. But on a day like today, where it seems kind of up the middle, we'll probably just do our normal show, just kind of condensed. We'll take out maybe some of the deep cuts that are in there. But
Well, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, just with building out the set list and everything, because one of my favorite things to ask every artist, you know, when you think about those longer sets, you know, of a headlining show, and it, you know, obviously it changes a little bit based on all of that with some staple songs and all that. What's a song that you wish you could put on the set list, but it barely misses the cut every single time? It's like, maybe you don't have enough time to put it in, or maybe it's just it kind of kills the vibe a little bit, but is there something that you think?
I mean, that's a good question. There's definitely songs. There's a song that came out on an album in 2008, 2007, The Meanest of Times. It's called Echoes on A Street. We played it for a while when the record came out, and then we just kind of stopped. Not really for any reason, but it's one of those ones where if you say like, hey, maybe we should try that, people are like, what are you talking about? Like they barely even remember that that's a song. So I mean, there's always going to be some like I said, deep cuts that I would love to play. But at the same time, you gotta give people things that they're familiar with. But as a music fan myself, I love going to see a band where they play some random song from the middle of an album somewhere that you didn't think that they would play. And we definitely try to do that. Like every tour, usually, as we'll start a tour with an idea of the songs we want to play, and then as the tour progresses, we sound check different things and try different stuff and put different songs in there. But there's always going to be those ones that we never even think about doing. And sometimes those are the ones that I wish we would do.
Well, it's you see so many bands that do kind of anniversary tours. Where it's we're going to play this entire album front to back, and some of those times it's you get surprised by the ones that people react to.
Absolutely. And the other thing we did a St. Patrick's Day where we went through all of our albums that we had up until then and played them all the way through. And the other thing that happens is you revisit those albums to relearn them or whatever, and you find a song and you go, oh my God, that's a banger right there.
Right?
We've never even played it, So there was that one St. Patrick's Day when we were doing Do or Die, Gang's All Here, and Sing Loud, Sing Proud all the way through. There was a handful of songs where I was like, why are we playing this every night? So that's fun, but that's not something that we've done a lot of as far as albums in sequence or anything. But that always brings up fun stuff that we don't get to do a lot.
The good memories, the nostalgia of going back to all of that. But I want to talk about the new album. Of course, the new song just came out with Sirens, and new album is apparently pending. So tell me a little bit about this album and how this is now obviously that next evolution of what the band is.
Right. Yeah. So the last things that we put out were the two Woody Guthrie albums, where we took all these unpublished lyrics of Woody Guthrie, and those were two acoustic albums. So when we started writing for this one, I think we were naturally leaning more into the super stuff because we had just done that acoustic thing. So we're still in the midst of putting it all together, but it's super aggressive sounding. Sirens is a decent example of what things are sounding like. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Hell yeah! I think people are gonna go absolutely ape shit. Especially today, it's like you said, it's you want to be a little bit heavier at Louder Than Life. So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask specifically for you, because I feel like you can play damn near any instrument.
I play a lot of stuff.
What is your favorite thing to play, and what is your least favorite thing to play?
My favorite thing, I'm a drummer. That's my main thing. That's what I love. I love doing anything musical, but drumming is what I love doing. That's how I spend my time at home a lot of the time. Least favorite, I don't dislike playing any instruments. I will say the accordion is heavy and awkward to have on you when you're trying to move around and stuff. I've gotten used to it over the last 20 years. But there are nights when there might be some night where I'm pretty beat from 6 shows in a row or something like that, and then I'll see all these accordion songs in a row and go,
can we please break this up a little?
But that being said, I'm just, I'm happy to be doing anything musical, really. But that one is, the accordion specifically is just a super awkward thing to deal with sometimes.
It's one of those things where it's how could I look like a badass rock star on stage with an accordion?
Well, that's the whole other thing. People will come up to me afterwards and be like, oh man, you made it look cool. And I'll say, if you're going to be playing an accordion on stage, you might as well look like you're going to kill somebody with it. That's probably the only way to do it,
I love it, man. Well, I'm looking forward to checking out the set. I mean, of course, it's going to be that high energy, and everybody's going to be just losing their absolute minds. Wet, sweaty, somehow muddy, and all the things.
Yeah, we can't wait. And with the mud and the rain and stuff, people are probably already cutting loose. It's only 2 o'clock or whatever, so it's going to be good.
I've already talked to people that are like, "Oh yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 drinks." I'm like, the bar's only been open for 3 or 4 minutes.
Now it's time for them to start drinking some of that non-alcoholic bourbon.
Yes, exactly. See, it's like you got to switch it up now. But I appreciate you taking the time, man. It's going to be fun here in Louisville at Louder Than Life with Alt 105.1.